We are the Traveling Three. As an adventure-loving family of three, we've stepped away from the familiar cadence of daily life to travel the world and embrace the unknown. Our style is to travel slowly and experience the places and cultures we find ourselves in. After spending 2.5 months along the Mediterranean and Aegean coasts, we're embarking on a journey through the Balkans, beginning with Albania.
We are so lucky to be here.
This country is bursting with natural beauty and rich culture.
I love how the shepherd is directing traffic.
But is it safe?
How many people are dying here on these roads?
Come embrace the adventure to find out.
It's so life-giving to experience the unknown. We are on our way to Albania now. We've left Rhodes and now we are in Athens, waiting for our connecting flight to take us to Corfu, and then we're going to be taking a ferry to Albania. It was our first time flying business class, which was great. I don't know if I can go back to the cramped economy seats. The leg space, I think, was the best. And I loved that we got some really good snacks.
And now we're just going to hang out in the lounge here for about an hour and a half before we head to our gate. And then we're off. Pretty excited. Well, we made it from Corfu airport to the port. We had a really cool taxi driver. He was super nice. He dropped us off at the ticket office, waited for us to buy the tickets, and then drove us straight to the boat. Smooth, easy process getting from the airport to the ferry, and now we're off to Albania.
It was a long travel day, but we finally have made it to Albania. Everything went smoothly, and we are greeted by this amazing apartment, which I'm so excited to show you.
The apartment was spacious, clean, well-maintained, and well-stocked with all the essentials. They even provided things like laundry detergent, which is a nice perk when you're traveling long-term. There's plenty of storage space, the kitchen has everything you need for cooking at home, and the kids' room was the cherry on top. Aaliyah loved the stuffed animals, toys, and books that were provided.
Oh my goodness, this apartment is huge and it's beautiful. And it was about a 2 or 3 minute walk away from the harbor, which was absolutely perfect. There's tons of restaurants all around here, and we've even got this huge deck. It was a killer deal, so we will make sure to link this Airbnb in the description. Well, now we're going to unwind, take a shower, and eat something, and we'll take you on a tour of Albania tomorrow.
Albania is a hidden gem that is a little rough around the edges and is in the process of being polished and refined. We were curious to see what this country has to offer outside of the cities, so we embarked on a 2-day road trip to find out. If you don't know, Albanian drivers don't have the best reputation, so we were a little nervous, especially driving in the city.
Oh my word, look at that parking job.
It honestly was a bit stressful driving through the downtown area because signage is not great and general rules of the road are not always followed or applicable. But once we made it out of the city, it was much more relaxed and the scenery was beautiful.
We're settling into Saranda nicely. Our Airbnb is centrally located right in the downtown area.
So there's 3 main parts to the beach down here in downtown Saranda. There's the one by the harbor, the middle one, and then the one on the far end. Our favorite one is the one in the middle because it's got a place to jump off of, and it's not quite as crowded as the one way down at the far end. The one by the port is a little more dirty, so we usually skip that one. All 3 beaches have great places to lay and they're all kind of pebbly. So as far as the beach quality goes, they're all about equal. It's just that we like the middle one the best.
It's very close to restaurants and the waterfront and several beaches. Right now, we've stopped at a little cafe on the way to the Blue Eye.
And then after that, we'll head to the city of Gjirokaster. Gjirokaster is known as the city of 1,000 stairs, so should be a good walk today.
The omelet is really good. Probably because it's deep fried.
Everything deep fried is good.
The Blue Eye is a unique mountain spring because it originates from an underwater cave. It is probably one of the most stunning bodies of water we've seen so far. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. You have to pay 2 very small fees to enter the park, one for parking and one for entrance to the park. From there, it's a 30-minute nature walk to the spring, or you can hop onto the makeshift train. We chose to walk and really enjoyed it. On our walk, we discovered that you can go canoeing in the river that flows from the Blue Eye, and there are even camping sites in the surrounding forest. The Blue Eye is a mesmerizing site and therefore very popular, so you can expect to see crowds, tour groups, and riverside cafes, restaurants, and souvenir shops. Of course, prices are inflated here, so we chose to stick to the nature path and take in the views. As you continue walking away from the crowds, the sounds of birds chirping, leaves rustling, and the trickling stream accompany you until you finally reach this stunning view. The Blue Eye was named after its appearance. The center of the pool is a dark underwater cave resembling a pupil, and the surrounding bright blue water resembles the iris. This spring discharges an impressive 18,400 liters of water per second and is one of the most powerful springs in Southeast Europe. Staring into the mesmerizing 50-meter depth of blue is hypnotizing. If you want to enjoy the authentic serenity of this place in true peace and quiet, make sure to arrive here when the park opens at 8 a.m. By 10 a.m., there will already be swarms of people.
The Blue Eye is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. The water is perfectly crystal clear. There are so many different shades of blue and green. It's absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous. And because of that, you can imagine this is a very popular touristy spot. So there was tons of tourists and tour groups. It was very loud at the Blue Eye viewpoint, but we decided to take... But we decided to take a hike and just go through the mountains because the forest here is just lush green. It's so peaceful and beautiful. There's very few tourists through here, and so you can actually enjoy the serenity of this place. This is such a wonderful nature walk. There aren't very many viewpoints. There are just a few. And if you're looking for something spectacular, you're not going to get it on this hike. However, the forest walk itself is worth it. It's just so peaceful. There are lots of birds chirping. There's a lot of these deep, dark blue dragonflies. They're just flying around everywhere. You can also see a lot of different types of lizards on your walk as well. It's absolutely worth doing. If you do want to do this hike, definitely make sure that you're wearing at least running shoes. Don't come here in flip-flops and sandals. Some of the hills are very steep going up and then coming back down. This trail just keeps getting better and better. There's nice little open meadow areas with beautiful purple flowers and just wildflowers everywhere. It's so peaceful. Love it.
Overall, this place is totally worth it, but don't just walk up to the Blue Eye. Make sure to take the trail. It turns the Blue Eye from like a super touristy area to a really nice nature walk with some absolutely stunning views. So highly recommend the trail and definitely recommend coming here. Now let's go to our next spot.
We're at Gjirokaster Castle now. It was about a 40-minute drive from the Blue Eye. This place is very beautiful. The drive here was beautiful. We drove through a valley in between huge mountains. This castle's history is very interesting. It was a medieval castle. In the 1400s, it was taken over by the Ottomans. In the 1900s, it actually has quite a morbid history. It was used by communist dictatorship as a prison to house political prisoners. So it's a little bit I don't know, it gives you goosebumps when you walk in through here. It's very beautiful, but just knowing what it was fairly recently used for kind of gives you goosebumps.
Albania is an incredibly beautiful country with a painful past. It was ruled by a severely strict totalitarian government from 1944 to 1990 and was one of the most closed countries in the world, meaning it was extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get into or out of the country. Political repression, censorship, and horrible human rights abuses were rampant during that time. After the fall of communism in 1990, the country faced the challenge of addressing its traumatic past while attempting to heal and move forward. Albania has taken significant steps towards combating systemic corruption, which I won't get into here, but if you're interested in Albania's social and political progress, you can find lots of information online. Today, Gjirokaster Castle stands as a vivid testament to hope and healing and is a vibrant reminder that blossoms can bloom from unexpected places.
This castle is definitely worth coming to visit to see all the different civilizations, and the different architecture is quite intriguing.
You get excellent views from up here. It's right on the mountaintop, or I guess hilltop, and you just have a panoramic view of the village down below. There are also a lot of cafes and restaurants around, which in fact we're about to go to now.
And we're also going to explore some of the city.
We happen upon this really beautiful spot at the top of the castle. We were actually about to leave and we decided to take a staircase up here. And oh my goodness, what an incredible view. It's very quiet. There's absolutely nobody here. We're surrounded by wildflowers and this beautiful view of the village below. You can actually still see medieval homes that have been refurbished and are currently in use. It's really cool. We can't wait to explore the town.
Gjirokaster Bazaar, also called the Old Town, has been the city's center of commerce since the Ottoman era. In 1961, the communist regime declared Gjirokaster a museum city to preserve its heritage, and the well-preserved history here has since earned it UNESCO World Heritage status. We stopped by one of the many quaint and delicious restaurants for dinner. You can find traditional Albanian cuisine here, as well as many other different types of foods.
This medieval town is so fun to walk through. There's tons of little streets and they're all so beautiful. They have shops everywhere with overly priced souvenirs, which we never buy, but they are really nice to walk past and look at. And there's also tons of restaurants. I wish that my stomach was 6 times the size that it is so I could eat all the food because it all smells so good. Driving in downtown Saranda is quite a feat, just so you know. There are a lot of one-way streets that are not clearly marked. And in fact, we ended up driving down the wrong way on a one-way street and had to back out a decent amount of the way. We really don't know what the rules of the road are. People seem to do very random things. So if you drive here, just be very careful. There is very little parking anywhere. So you have to find street parking or find parking spaces that you pay for 5 to 15 euros a day. We were thankfully able to find some street parking, but it is quite a feat driving in this downtown area. Good morning, everyone. Today we are heading to Kadiut Bridge. It's about 2 hours away from where we're staying in Saranda. So we're going on a mini road trip through Albania today. Steve survived the second day of driving through downtown Saranda, and this morning it was actually better because there was not as much traffic. We'll see how things are coming back and finding a parking spot again. The drive on the way there is going to be beautiful, and we're excited to share that with you. We stopped by a restaurant on the way. It's in the middle of the mountains. So beautiful here.
And it was labeled traditional food, so we decided to order some breakfast. Aaliyah got some really good Albanian pancakes with honey and jam. They look pretty amazing. And we got this egg with pita and cottage cheese, and we're gonna go ahead and give it a try. The first thing I noticed about it was there's pickles on the top.
They're a little bit sweet.
Yeah, the pickles are sweet pickles.
Oh my gosh. dill.
That's, yeah,
Oh.
dill. That's what, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You love dill.
Oh, this is good. This is good. It's dill, and I think it's baked feta cheese.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems like. And then there's some olive oil and egg and onion, tomatoes.
Yeah,
Oh my
lots of different
goodness. I am in heaven right now eating this
It's pretty
next
good.
to the river in the mountains with the breeze and the birds.
I have not tasted anything like this before.
I have.
Have you?
This reminds me of Romanian food.
Ah, there you
The
go.
dill.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. This is one thing that we love to do, is get out of the city, get away from the tourist areas, go on a little adventure and try the local things. It's a lot of fun.
We continued on our journey with a tight grip anytime we had to pass a vehicle. Little did we know that we'd soon experience a most unusual traffic jam. Oh my gosh, that is a big herd.
Big old truck behind me. Look at them eating everything. He's trying to.
Now we're continuing on our way. We still have about an hour left until we get to the bridge. Right now we are in a traffic jam in the middle of the countryside. It's caused by a huge herd of goats. It's really funny.
Guy just needs to go forward. I'll see you later for dinner.
I love how the shepherd is directing traffic.
This is awesome. Oh, there's the sheepdog.
He's like, I could not be bothered.
He doesn't care. All right, well, we made it through the traffic jam, everybody. Off we go. So driving in Albania isn't too bad. One thing you do need to know is the roads can be pretty narrow, and sometimes the oncoming traffic can come pretty quickly at you. If you like to drive little windy roads through absolutely gorgeous, beautiful mountains, this is a good place to come.
You know, one thing that does make me nervous about driving is as you're driving along the road, you see so many memorial sites. So I'm like, how many people are crashing and dying here on these roads? I don't know, it makes me kind of nervous. So far, we've been okay. We've arrived to Kadiut Bridge. Oh my goodness, it was such a beautiful drive all the way up here. And we can kind of see the bridge in the distance a little bit. We're super excited to go take a look and then make our way to the thermal baths.
Kadiut Bridge is one of 72 surviving Ottoman-era bridges remaining in Albania. This bridge is particularly famous because it is located right next to the Banjat e Banjas thermal baths. Kadiut Bridge is located near the small city of Pamet. Pamet is a popular place for outdoor enthusiasts because it's located in the mountains and there is plenty of hiking. You could even go river rafting, ATVing, and cycling.
All right, so we made it to the hot springs. Let's see what the water temperature's like. How would you rate this lukewarm hot spring?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 is pretty gorgeous, isn't it?
So peaceful.
I'll give it a 100 out of 100.
Yeah, 100 out of 100. The water is crystal clear, beautiful, more like lukewarm bath water. On a nice sunny day, it's perfect. So I have to say, if you come to these hot springs here in Albania, you have to walk up this valley. It is gorgeous. There's a whole bunch of little hot springs along the river, so don't just go to the first one, especially if it's busy. Keep walking up the valley. The cliffs are beautiful, the river's beautiful, and also the river's not cold because of all the different hot springs that flow into it. It's a pretty unique experience. This is where the main spring comes out from the ground right there. And part of the spring, you can see bubbles straight up out of the sand there. How cool is that?
I'm thinking.
I know, you sink straight down there. It's like quicksand.
We spent a blissful hour or so in the hot spring, and now we're making our way up the valley, and we're just going to take our time and explore this place and see what there is to see.
When we came here, we knew about the bridge and the thermal baths, but we had no idea there's also a gorgeous canyon as well. The Langarica Canyon begins at the Kadiut Bridge and goes on for 3 kilometers with a height of up to 150 meters. As you wander along the Langarica River, you'll find hidden hollows, pristine thermal pools, and colliding cliffs.
We are so lucky to be here. I'm so thankful that we didn't skip Albania. You know, we almost skipped Albania. We heard it was dangerous and this and that and the next thing, but we decided, since how we were in Greece and we're heading up the Balkan states, why not try Albania? And man, I'm telling you, it would have been a mistake if we skipped Albania.
This valley just keeps going and going. It's really hard to capture the size of these cliffs on camera, but in real life, it's breathtaking. It really is. It's hard to put into words. Okay, you really do have to watch where you're going here because this floor is muddy and slippery, and you really have to pay attention to where you're stepping. I just about biffed it twice.
I'm telling you guys, if you come to the hot springs and the bridge and you don't walk up the canyon, you are missing out.
Wow, this is absolutely spectacular. I cannot believe we are here. One of the things that we love about slow travel is all of the unexpected experiences that we find ourselves in. It's really invigorating to not have an exact itinerary, to not know exactly what to expect from the places we go to, and just experience wonder. You know, as adults, as we grow and we get older, the sense of wonder kind of fades away. And when you travel slowly and you don't know much about a place, you don't know the language, you don't know the culture, you don't know the landscape, there's just so much uncertainty. It's so life-giving to experience the unknown. It reignites that sense of wonder that you once had as a child. And you kind of see the world through a child's eyes. It really is such a blessing. There's also something about being in nature and finding secluded areas like this where you just don't have cell phone reception. You have no choice but to unplug from the rest of the world and just sit and reflect, ponder. It's so refreshing. We were pleasantly surprised by all the outings we've been on so far. This canyon was phenomenal.
The hot springs were beautiful. The bridge is definitely worth coming and checking out. The city of Saranda is also worth coming to. It's a really nice spot to do a whole bunch of little outings, from the medieval city that we went to this canyon, to a bunch of different beaches. And there's a lot of things to do in the city itself. So overall, if you're thinking about coming to Albania, do it. We highly recommend it. We almost skipped it, and we're so glad that we chose to come here. We really would have missed out. And as far as the country being safe, we've had no problems at all. Through driving, through all of our interactions, no problem at all. So don't worry about it being dangerous here. Don't listen to that. Come to Albania. It's definitely worth it.
Albania is investing significantly in its tourism industry, and this was obvious in Sarandë as there is new construction of hotels, resorts, restaurants, and all sorts of tourist facilities everywhere. This really seems to be an up-and-coming tourist hotspot, so come to Albania now while it still remains authentic and affordable, because it likely won't be this way for long.